what happens after you get pre-approved for a mortgage? I would say that's the first step you should do when you're getting ready to go out in the market to purchase property, is get pre-approved. So when you get pre-approved, is getting all the documents sent over to me, preferably me, and we will review your documents, check everything out, make sure everything checks out, which for your tax returns, W-2s, last 30 days of pay stubs, last 2 months of bank statements, and a copy of your driver's license. Those are the major things we'll need just to validate all the information so that we can get you pre-approved and out in the market and start shopping. The most important part with the pre-approval, it allows you to know your budget. So when you're out shopping, you know, okay, I can afford a $450,000 home. And it allows the real estate agent to help you shop within that market and within that space. You don't want to go out and start looking at $850,000 homes if you only pre-approve for $450,000, because one, you won't approve for that loan unless you have a large down payment to pay for that gap. But if not, so that's really the most important part, is getting pre-approved. People would say, well, what if I'm buying a house all cash? I would say to still consider getting an option or different options with mortgages from me, preferably, just to see if it's ideal, depending on your overall goal. Because I've been in situations where someone says, I want to purchase a property all cash, and they have the money to pay for the property all cash, and that's not a problem. And definitely it's up to you based on your game plan. However, if someone tells me their goal is to start a restaurant in the next year or 2 years, and they have enough money to pay for the property cash, and they want to start that goal, then it might be a little bit different how we structure things. I might say, hey, maybe we can obtain a mortgage, you put a good large down payment down and have a good chunk of money still left over so you can start the restaurant or start that goal that you're trying to achieve. There are different ways to look into it, but it's all going to depend on someone's situation and what they need to do, instead of, especially in the time. So in this situation has happened where it was in that situation where we were in 2021 and someone was purchasing a property. They wanted to purchase a property cash and they're relocating to the state of Florida. I advised them to say, hey, I'm not trying to tell you because I'm a loan officer, I want your business, of course, but I'm not telling you that you have to get a mortgage with me. But ideally in your situation, you're going to start a restaurant. So if you obtain a mortgage and put probably a large down payment down, you have that flexibility to work with that remaining money to start that business that you want to do. So that person said, I want to buy the house all cash and do it that way, and they thought it was better for them. However, later on, as time went on, they realized they had to refinance their property, pull money out of the property so they could start their restaurant years later. And instead of getting locked in at a 2 or 3% rate that they could have been locked in at, they got locked in at a much higher rate, locked in at, in the 5s. So it all depends on your situation and your overall goal and what we need to do to make it work for you. Another question. These are a lot of questions.